Hello, welcome to another stream. How about that? But you didn't expect that shit to happen yet again. Welcome. Hello, Noyo before bed, NerdBoy1, PSCom Sai, Hertz and Plots, Sasalola 23, Out 9, Hertz and Plots, Out 9, Icoro Bowl, Artie, Lit. Hello, Noyo before bed. Hello. I'm really glad to see you all today. Nipsey, welcome. Hello. Katie-san, hello. So today is Saturday, the day of the Saturn, and that means today, according to the Skidoodle, we are doing a game development. How about that? I good look. Hello. So Sunday? No. Today is Saturday. See? It's a Saturday. So, yeah, we're gonna continue developing Debated again. The question is who debated who. So, yeah. So we're gonna continue developing this game that we're developing in C++ using SDL2. No, we're not gonna rewrite it in ArrayLib. Though, implementing something like that in ArrayLib would be interesting, I'm not gonna lie. But we're not gonna do that. So yeah, we kind of developed our own engine on top of the SDL2, which is okay, I guess. It's not really as reusable as ArrayLib, but it's decent enough, I would say, for the game that we're developing. Hello, Small Monkey. I'm okay. How are you? So let's start. Let me see. So I'm gonna go to my source code of the game. Okay, git branch, and so let me take a look at the status. Check out master. I'm good. Ready to watch you code while I learn C. Well, good luck learning C. Yesterday all the snow melted. Today it's snowing like crazy yet again. Well, snow is actually pretty cool. I like snow. We have a lot of snow in Siberia as well, so let's fetch the latest stuff. And see how it goes. So the wall stack branch is already merged, as I can see. Yeah, I like, yeah, everyone likes snow, not everyone likes to shovel it, right? So, usually in Russia we don't have to shovel it ourselves, right? Because we live in apartments in buildings, right? And usually there's a company that is maintaining the building, so it's the responsibility of the company to actually shovel the snow in front of the buildings and stuff like that. The question is whether they do that well is a completely separate question, but usually we don't shovel it ourselves. Communism, am I right? Anyway, so origin, but sometimes it's necessary. Well, depends on the situation and the place and stuff like that. All right, branch the wall stack. Okay, communism, yes. Let's rebuild this entire stuff and build the debug version of the game and take a look at the game, because on the previous streams we were fixing some stuff. Now we don't really get stuck in the walls, and the collision is a little bit better and stuff like that, so the game should actually feel way better now. The game should definitely feel a little bit better. So you cannot get stuck in the wall, so it's all basically eliminated. On top of that, I think stomping attack, yeah. So if I spawn a bunch of enemies, they won't actually stuck in the floor. Yeah, they won't stuck in the floor, which is pretty cool. This was the battle of the century, not in like literally the battle of the century. So I wonder how it's gonna feel like if you have this kind of room. Let me put it here, and so it's using the projectiles and the stomp attack simultaneously, and nobody gets stuck, to be fair. Everything seems okay. Yeah, but I managed to win. So essentially, the secret of winning in this particular battle is to constantly debate an enemy into into other side. I don't know. So the easiest way is just to... Oh yeah, wait a second. Oh shit. I remember there was a strategy. Oh, did it stuck? It's stuck. Okay, I see. It's stuck in a stomping attack with a... Yeah, so it's a separate problem that we'll also have to fix at some point. So what I remember is that there was a strategy to kill the enemy. Right. Basically stay here and constantly attack it from the bottom. Yes. Constantly attack it from the bottom. I think it's not gonna work if your enemy has a stomping attack. Yeah, because it constantly tries to stomp you from the above. Yeah. So it doesn't really work well. Yeah. But I mean, you can still beat it. Alright. So what we're gonna do today? What's up, Supercuber? Welcome to the stream. So maybe we're gonna fix the stomping problem. The stomping problem is kinda meh. But maybe we can fix it. So did I get any new pull requests or any issues? So I have some stuff in here, but it's not related to the game that we're developing, so I'm gonna ignore it for now then. Alright, let's take a look. Do we have something very chill to basically warm up? Excuse me. I just sneezed. This was my sneeze. I just realized how stupid it sounded, but it's just... yeah. Okay. Spike Wave doesn't deal any damage. What's up, Belgianol? Welcome to the stream. No sound for the ice block placer. Maybe we can take a look at some old issues, like from the bottom. Thank you so much. Thank you. Proper gun rendering. I don't know. It's support for meat maps and texture caches. I'm slowly applying thermal paste to my X200 laptop, if you know what I mean. Slowly applying thermal paste. So maybe we can work on a proper gun rendering. That's could be interesting thing to work on. Alrighty. So where are the assets? Where are the assets? I need some assets. That's what I need. So I'm gonna go to my website with assets and just steal some stuff from there. So what I want to search for, I want a gun. Can we have a gun? Alright, so this one looks cool. Futuristic gun. Gun guy. What the fuck? Wait. Wait, is that a 3D thingy? No, it doesn't really look 3D, but I really like the gun guy. What the fuck is this? Okay. Nice. Okay, so front. So I guess I want to take a look at the... Oh, it downloads all of them. Okay. PPL guy, yes. So let's do wget, and I kind of want to download that one. So this is probably the side. Right, so this is going to be the side. Okay, so if I open it in this is basically what I want. This is basically what I want, and I want to just render that thing. So essentially, how are we gonna render all of that shite? How are we gonna render all of that shite? Let me see. I'm just waiting for my paint because I started my paint, right? So the gun is a sprite, right? So it has this sort of like a shape thingy. It has this sort of like a shape thingy, and then you have a character somewhere here, which has this kind of shape, right? Then essentially we have a direction of the gun, right? So we have a certain direction of the gun, and let's say that this is the direction of the gun. So what we need to do, we need to take this sprite and render it essentially something like this. Is a pretty bad way of picking the color. Okay, so that was a little bit better. So render it essentially like this, right? In the direction of the actual gun of the entity, right? And depending on the direction is going to be like different. So as far as I know, it shouldn't be that difficult, because when you copy a texture in SDL, right, so you can do copy rect extended. So this is the function that we have to use that doesn't exist for some reason. Are you serious? Wait a fucking second. What? Am I going crazy? Okay, so is it rect copy? SDL copy texture. Render copy. Okay, so yeah, it's a render copy. Yeah. Render copy XC. So yeah, I'm sorry. I completely forgot the name. It's kind of difficult for me to remember the names of the SDL functions. They are not really intuitive. So essentially, you can rotate this thing by an angle. An angle is in degrees. So this is another thing that you have to keep in mind. It's in degrees, and you also have can have a center, right? A pointer to the pointer to the point. Pointer to the point, by the way, indicating the point. Wait, this is so funny. Wait, pointer to a point indicating the point around which a pointer to a point indicating the point around which this rect will be rotated. So it's basically the pivot. You can call it a pivot at least documentation. So Celsius or Fahrenheit? Yeah, that's a good question. Kelvin. Does Kelvin have degrees? I think it's also degrees. Pointer to a point indicating the point. Oh, I brewed that cup of tea perfectly. Not oversteep it, not anything. It's actually strong enough for me, and it's not, you know, oversteep to the point when it's bitter, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's strong, but it's not bitter. So it's just like perfect. Love it. I don't know how I did that, but it's pretty good. I'm gonna lie. Kelvin doesn't have degrees. Okay, I'm not a physicist. I'm sorry. I'm just a programmer. So, anyways, but physicists these days are programmers anyway. Am I right? All right. So they just code models and whatnot. So how are we gonna approach that? We need to find a place where we render the gun, right? Where we render the gun. So I'm gonna put my gun. Oh, I need to put the assets to the credits. Put the assets to the credits. Where are the credits? Futuristic gun. Boom. Here it is. Imagine not using temperature scale from 0 to 1 in 2021. Is it actually used anywhere? That would be interesting. Like temperature scale. Well, if you make a temperature scale from 0, where 0 is the freezing point of water and 1 is the boiling point of water, it's not that different from the Celsius. It's just instead of like using 30 degrees Celsius, you would use 0.3. So it's just right. So it's pretty much the same. Anyway. Oh, you mean 0 would be an absolute 0. Okay. Is that what Kelvin is? Wait a second. I just realized that I don't really know what Kelvin is. I know that... Alright. Is the base unit of temperature in the heaven unit K? Okay, definition. Let's take a look at the definition. Is now defined by fixing the numerical value of... That does not answer my question. Okay. Wikipedia is actually useless for learning about this kind of stuff. Holy shit. I'm kind of surprised how useless it is for learning anything. Anyway, I guess I'm gonna stay ignorant. At least I have a futuristic gun. Something that Kelvin didn't have, right? At least I have a futuristic gun. Where is my... I think I... Emacs. Gun. Here it is. Gun site. I'm gonna add my gun to the sprites. I'm gonna move them to the sprites. There we go. Cool. So let's register this file in our assets system, right? So for our asset system uses a configuration here, and let's call it gun texture, right? So we're gonna have a gun texture. So we're gonna say that it's a texture, and it's located somewhere here. It's located in assets, sprites, and here we go, gun size. Cool. So now if I try to rebuild this entire thing, something debug. Alright, so we're rebuilding everything. 0 Kelvin is defined as an absolute 0. Well, I know that, but what is 1 Kelvin? Is that what it is? What? Okay. So the thing is, Outline said, imagine not using, you know, scale from 0 to 1. And I thought it's some sort of a Kelvin reference. And how... What? Okay, you guys are confusing me. I know that 0 Kelvin is an absolute 0, but I thought maybe scale from 0 to 1 is also Kelvin thing. Is the same as 1 unit Celsius. I see. Whatever. You keep confusing me. So let's see how we can load this entire thing. So did it load the gun? Did it load the gun? Okay, so here's the gun texture. So the gun texture was loaded correctly. Cool. The gun texture was loaded correctly, and now we should be able to try to draw it on the screen. We can try to go to the game and just see what's going on there. So I'm gonna try to literally draw it on the screen. So let me see. Assets, HPP. So, and I can probably access the assets, and within those assets, so there should be a texture. Right, I have, ready? Sprite. Oh my god, I need to clean it up really badly. I really need to clean it up. Jiang, what's up? What's up? How are you doing, Jiang? So here's the texture, and essentially when I'm referring to a gun, I can just take the texture and probably render it, but can I access that as a sprite? Probably not, right? Probably cannot access it as a sprite, but there should be a function, something like sprite from texture. Yeah, okay, so there's a way to do this kind of stuff where you have a texture index, right? You have a texture index, and you can get a sprite out of that. That is very, very convenient, not gonna lie. So let's find the game render. Right, so this is where we render all of that, and this is gonna be our debug information. Debug render gun. Right, so here it is, texture, and as far as I know, you can use texture index here, and that gives you the sprite that you can then render. So to render the sprite, you have to call render, right? You have to call render, a destination rectangle, and so on and so forth. You don't really have to use destination rectangle, you can use position and whatnot, right? So oh, we already have an angle, look at that, that's actually pretty cool. So you can already rotate everything appropriately, that's pretty awesome. Alright, so we have a renderer, right? So we're gonna render it at the 0, 0, I suppose. I think it does make sense. So we're not gonna flip it, we're not gonna do anything, and all of these things are optional parameters anyway. So this is basically how we can render the gun texture. So you just add this thing here, sprite from texture index, here's the index, and the index is the index in the assets system, right? It's because the asset system is an array, and you access the assets via the indices, right? And you can see this thing being rendered absolutely incorrectly. Maybe we should actually render it slightly differently. We're gonna put it like that. It's gonna be 100, maybe 200. It feels like the texture is a little bit too big. It feels like the texture is a little bit too big. That's why we can't really see it. Okay, so I thought it's gonna actually start like running it. There we go, we can now see the gun peeking out. So yeah, the texture is literally too fucking big. Off you go. Okay, so it's gonna be 500. Maybe I should just look up the size of that texture. We can try to look up the size of it. Maybe on top of that, while rebuilding everything, I should also run it automatically. So that would make sense probably. Okay, so here's the texture of the gun, right? So here's the texture of the gun. Pretty straightforward, not gonna lie. Everything is okay. But it's basically stuck on the screen because we're constantly rendering it on top of the rest of the world, right? So I just do that to test how it's going to be rendered, right? Nothing particularly special. So that's pretty cool. Also, I have a texture translation unit, and I'm not quite sure why the fuck. It's support for meepmaps. Okay, so that's cool. Wow, did I really miss that much in 20 minutes? I thought you were on a 3D model yesterday. Well, it's a different project, essentially. So, yeah, yesterday we were just looking through ArrayLib, and in ArrayLib I just, was messing around with ArrayLib itself. Today I'm developing a completely different project, which is my game in SDL2. So, and yeah, this is how the game looks like, if you didn't know. It does have a lot of stuff already. It's not playable by any means. But it has a lot of interesting stuff. Right, so it has a stomp attack. So it even has enemies with a little bit of AI, so which you can fight, right, and stuff like that. So it was actually implemented over the course of several months or over the year, I would even say. So, and we're not using ArrayLib for this one. This is not a ArrayLib application. It's a SDL2. It's only SDL2, by the way. In terms of dependencies, I think it only depends on SDL2, and also some SBT. It looks awesome, streamer. I would definitely buy if you came out with it. Well, first of all, it's not finished, and the look and feel of the game is not the final one, right? So this is basically placeholder art that I found on the internet and just threw together, just to see how the things will work out. I'll draw my own art at some point after I'm done with the gameplay and stuff like that. So, and second of all, this is my first game. I'm not a game developer. I don't know how to develop games. So this game is gonna be free. It's gonna be free on Steam, on maybe GOG or something, whatever. And it's actually already free, it's already open source, you can already download it, but it's not really playable, right? So, yeah. So what's that? It's 2009 memes? I think it's 2009. But yeah, cool. Nice, thank you so much. Alrighty. So, let's continue. That's a lot of files, not gonna lie. So this is another third-party dependencies. We depend on STB and we also depend on AIDS. Yes. AIDS 1.0, by the way. We're using the stable release of AIDS 1.0. And yeah, cool. AIDS 27. AIDS 27 never happened. I'm sorry. That's not a thing. The fuck alright. So so where is the issue that I was working on? We're working on the proper gun rendering, more or less. 59. So gun. Render gun. Do I really have a render gun? I think it's located somewhere in entity. So if I go gun mods ban permaban. Alright. So render, yeah, so it has to be entity CPP. And where do I render the gun? So gun direct, yeah, depending on the gun direction, we either flip this entire thing or not. But then I should probably use something like a line. Yeah, yeah, here it is, I found it. So render the gun, and what this thing does, it literally just renders this small thing here. Have you considered selling your saved videos for learning purposes? They're really valuable content. Imagine selling videos on the internet. Dude, do you know how internet works? People share content constantly, and basically the way you become like more or less popular on the internet is actually eliminating the barriers of sharing your content. Selling videos is like an opposite of you know, eliminating barriers of sharing your content. Like, this is not how internet, this is basically like a old person view of the internet, right? This is not how it works. If you come on, seriously, this is like really, you don't know how internet works, essentially. Anyway, no offense though, of course, like, but yeah, this is not how we do that. Sorry. It's on defense. Yeah, so essentially, if you wanna like monetize your content on the internet right now at this current age, it's easier to do that via either like donations, right? Or maybe request money before you create the content, right? So that's another option you can have. Essentially, for example, request like certain amount of money to make a video on certain topic. But once the video is made, it's free for everyone. You see what I mean? So that's a like more or less like proper way of monetizing content on the internet, in my opinion, right? Like, what do I know about content on the internet? But yeah, so in my opinion, you should eliminate the barriers on sharing the content, because that's the internet. That's the point of internet. Have you considered doing bodybuilding videos? What? Do I look like a bodybuilder or something? What are you guys talking about? Pre-ordering. Yes. Okay. Let's continue. But I mean, pre-ordering, so you're essentially comparing my idea of requesting money before making the video with pre-orders, right? Have you considered doing cosplays? Yes, I have, but who should I cosplay? I don't mind. Do you have any suggestions on the cosplays? Saitama? I don't know. So I think pre-orders of the games is not the same as pre-orders of the videos, right? So I think it's kind of different things. Alright. Anyway. So this is how we render the gun right now. By the way, not everybody can see that. I'm pretty sure nobody can see the gun. So, but if you zoom in really close, this is the gun. This red line is a gun. By the way, is the boomer flickering right now? And by boomer, by the way, I mean the tool that we're using, right? So we have a special tool that allows us to zoom in. And it's called boomer because it's a zoomer application. So, yeah. Doesn't seem to be flickering. Okay, so it was like one-time situation. Okay, I don't know what caused it back then, but yeah. Okay, so this is the gun that we're rendering. It's literally like a line. It's so bad, and it's not even rendered like properly. What the fuck is this dot? Why it is rendered like that? And I'm not even rendering this line myself. This is a thing that comes with SDL, and it feels like there is a bug in line rendering. Like, why the fuck it is rendered like that? Holy shit. It's a nose. Okay, that explains it. Always thought that red line was a straw or a pee-pee. Okay. Does the gun has recoil? No. So what we need to do here, we need to grab the gun texture. Gun texture index. Here's the gun texture index, and we do sprite from texture index, and that gives us the sprite that we can render and shit. Okay, so then it would be nice to actually have an auxiliary function that essentially takes the position of the texture, takes the initial position of the gun, direction, and just draws the texture to in that direction. Okay, so let's actually come up with a function like that. It's gonna be like a render texture as gun in direction, right? So what it will accept? It will accept the renderer, right? The texture index, gun texture index. The position is essentially this thing, and the direction, right? It will accept the direction. So in that particular case, I don't think the direction has to be like this. Yeah, the direction has to be just, you know, normalized. It doesn't even have to be normalized because the function internally should probably normalize it anyway. So yeah, so gun begin, so we have a position and whatnot, and this is essentially what we have to have here. So we need a function, render texture as gun in a particular direction. You have a renderer, you have texture, you have the beginning coordinate, and you have a direction, and direction probably has to be moved to the screen coordinates as well, right? So let's just map it to the screen, and don't even worry about that. Don't even worry about that. Cool. So let me now do a recompilation of our nation, and we don't even have such function. I've been using a function that doesn't exist. Am I mad? I think I'm insane. Like, why would you use a function that doesn't exist in your code base? Is that an insanity? Well, no. It's called top-down development. That means first you outline what you want and what kind of functions you want, and then you implement those functions, and you basically develop starting from the top of your hierarchy and going to the down to lower level, right? So this is not insanity, this is called top-down development. All right, so let's define this function. You let a junior do it. Maybe. Oh, well, I don't have any juniors though, so. Okay. So a renderer, then we need to accept index of a texture, right? It's gonna be texture index. Texture index, and another thing we need is the vec2f begin, vec2f direction, right? So we need these 4 things, and well, right now I can also say something assert false to do a renderer. Actually, I want to name this function, and I can say this thing is not implemented. Oh, by the way, do I have something like that in AIDS? Does anyone know? Do I have that? Like to do? Oh shit, I think I do. Yeah, I have to do. Isn't that amazing? I think it's goddamn amazing, so I don't have to do this kind of shit. So I can do to do, right, and just say this thing is not implemented, and that will work. I forgot. For those who doesn't know, AIDS is a replacement for STD that I developed myself. It's pretty cool. So yeah, if you're interested, you can try to use it. But yeah. All right. What is to do function sorting? I literally just explained it. Cool. How are we gonna? Let me see if it actually renders it. Okay, I forgot to remove the rendering of the line. Did it? Oh yeah, I didn't even compile it because it treats the warnings as the errors. So we have to do something like this. Okay. And yeah, so it fails because of this thing. Alright, so it literally forces us to implement it right now. Okay. Okay, I'll need to think how we're gonna implement this thing. Oh, I'm hungry. Holy shit, why am I so hungry all of a sudden? I don't know. But yeah, anyway, so what we need to do? We need to render a texture in a very particular position. So it's gonna be SDL render copy XC. So we provide DST rect, provide the angle, provide the center, and whether this thing is flipped or not. Excuse me. I want to make a cup of tea, to be fair. Does anyone have any questions while I'm making a cup of tea? Should get some food. Probably I should get some food later, but then don't have any food that is prepared. So, yeah. So basically all the food that I have requires any preparation, and that is needed for me to essentially to not eat it, because I'm a very compulsive eater. So yeah. Cooking stream. It's not the content that I'm prepared today for, I'm sorry. Yeah, the life and all, yeah. You understand, Fish, yes. Cooking stream. I do have dark chocolate though. I do have a dark chocolate, so maybe that's what I'm gonna do. Why don't you cosplay Uncle Fester? Fester? Who's Uncle Fester? Who's that? Uncle Fester. Who's that? Somebody bold, let me guess. Yes. Addams Family. I heard about it, but I never watched it. Sorry. Yeah. I know what is Addams Family, but really, this entire show completely missed me. So, yeah. I don't know anything about it. Okay. What do you think about exotic languages like APL and Prolog? They exist? You might have not had a Cartoon Network in Russia back then, probably. Actually, we started to have a lot of like foreign channels in 90s after the Soviet Union dissolution, so maybe. I don't know. So I'm gonna quickly go to the kitchen and, you know, boil up some water and also grab some chocolate, and we'll see how it goes. And then we'll have to continue rendering the gun. Right, we'll have to continue rendering the gun. Alrighty. Yes, I got myself some chocolate. Zigan, yes, Zigan. It's a 97.7% chocolate. Very bitter, but it does bring joy to my life a little bit. Cheers. I hope I didn't eat any foil. You sound like a trumpet. Yes, I know. It was intentional, actually. So yeah, it is what it is. I can make a lot of funny sounds, believe me. I'm not gonna do them. I'm eating chocolate right now. So how I'm gonna render that? So it's gonna be sprite. So we can render at a particular angle. So essentially, I forwarded majority of the majority of these things in here. The pointer. If no, it's gonna be like that. Speaking of Pepper Jam, let's actually listen to Pilot Red Sun, maybe. So a little bit of a Pepper Jam would not hurt anyone, I think. Pull requests? Did somebody submit pull requests? Do you have IKEA in your hometown? Yes, I do. I haven't visited it for quite some time already, to be fair. Oh, I mean PR. Okay, PRS stands for Pilot Red Sun. Okay. Alright. Let's continue. How is this stuff implemented? I'm gonna introduce angle pivot Right. Mm-hmm. So this is essentially pivot. Pivot. The thing about pivot is that it should be missable, right? And if you miss it, rotations are done. Do we even use rotation right now anywhere? I don't remember a single place where we use rotation, to be fair. So... Okay. So what if I... How can we check that, actually? So what if I remove this angle property completely? So, will anyone notice that? I mean, by anyone, I mean any place in the code. So some places will probably notice that. Because of this kind of stuff. I think my tea is ready. I'm going to quickly pour some water. I have some tea. How about that? All right. So what do we got? Someone really wanted you. So here you go. Enjoy. What's that? What?
Please buy yourself a better chair. Take care of your back.
So I'm a robot. Have you read the disclaimer at the top of the below the donations? I really appreciate 60 something bucks. But you didn't read carefully what's written there. I need to wait until Twitch loads because Twitch is so slow. Yeah. So what does it say? Please do not donate to buy something. Such donations will be ignored. Sorry. Let me know if you want me to refund the donation. I'm not gonna buy anything for this money. And explicitly said that there, and you literally just ignored that message. Sorry. I'm not buying anything just because you donated that, I'm sorry. So if you really want me to refund it, just let me know, I'm gonna do that. Alright, so... I would really appreciate if people started to donate things to, like, ask a question, for example, or something like that. It would be actually pretty cool, I think. Outline, thank you so much for the Photoshop, I guess. Cool. Is it Photoshop? No. It's a real image. The question is how Adnan got that image. Did you hack my account? Of course it's Photoshop. Alright, so let's actually focus on our work, okay? So we're kind of slacking too much today. Hello, of course, 94, welcome to the stream. So we do use angle here, but this angle comes from here. Okay, so so we want to remove the angle. Chat. What is going on? Calm down. Holy shit. You're gonna get me banned. Alright, so oh, yeah, I see. So the angle has to be like a 0 or something. Yeah. This is not Chatterbait. Yes, Chatterbait streams are on Sunday, okay? I'm joking, but Twitch. This is a joke, by the way. I do not violate the contract, okay? That was a joke. I'm really surprised that I have to explain that, okay? So, yeah. So the only reason why I cannot stream on Chatterbait is because I already have a contract with the with Twitch, and I'm not allowed to stream on any other platform. So yeah. Otherwise, I would have definitely streamed on Chatterbait, of course, but just have a contract. Sorry. Twitch was first. Now what can I say? By the way, does Chatterbait have any contracts? Maybe it does have. Maybe there's like some sort of like a partnership program. Doesn't have any? Okay. Worthless website. Doesn't even have a partnership program. Holy shit. Imagine, by the way, imagine Chatterbait just like Mixer at some point starting to try to buy big Twitch streamers to move to Chatterbait. That would be actually funny, I think. Okay, so there's a frame angle. Alright, and let's continue. That will be a good business move, yeah. No matching function. Oh yeah, you just have to remove it from here. Alright, so here's an angle. Angle is unused, whatever. And in here we don't have that. So I'm just trying to understand where do we even use all of this angle shite. Okay, so can I... You know what? I think I'm missing a very crucial feature in AIDS. So Sojing would take off his clothes if we would donate. Well, what are we talking about, chat? I mean, okay, I kind of... I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in myself. I'm disappointed in the chat. I'm disappointed in everything. I'm just gonna sit here and sip my tea. So would write dirty code for tokens. I write dirty code for free. Every fucking day. It's so fucking dirty. Disappointment stream. Okay, you know what you're gonna get, chat? You're gonna get a big sudden weird for me. There we go. Not weep, but weird. Oh shit, I bought this down apparently. Whatever. I can't even be disappointed in you. Okay, so you know what I want from 8? I want aids to report the place where the shit went down. Essentially, in C and C++, right, you have something like file and line, right? And that reports you the actual file location and the line, right? So we can try to do something like this. File and line. Okay, so, and let's see what's gonna happen. It's not gonna work because it's gonna report aids.hpp. So, but I wanna double check that one more time. Okay, so as you can see, it actually reported aids.hpp, which is not ideal. Right, which is absolutely not ideal. So to actually combat that, what we have to do is we have to use define. So VA args, I think this is what we have to do. Learn in C, so I can be a boss like you, Tsojin. But this is C++. I think you're doing something wrong. I don't know. So why are you learning C? I'm programming in C++. This is not C. So does your C have variadic arguments that are type safe and templates? Does it have attributes and shit like that? It doesn't. So things actually writing Rust and C++, yes. Nice. Alright. C plus C++, exactly. That's what I'm doing. So this is what we need here, actually. I think I'm doing something wrong. I think it's like this. What does no return thing do? It tells the compiler that if you call this function will never return. What function never returns? Let's think about that for a second. Something like exit. Because if you call exit, your entire application quits. So a function exit never returns because it crashes the application. Not really crashes, but it kills the application. So, why is that important? So, the compilers have control flow analysis, right? You have a function, right? And the compiler will tell you that you forgot to return, for example, a value out of the function. For example, you have this kind of code where you have a condition and you return 69. But if the condition is false, you have a branch of the condition that doesn't return anything ever. But if you call exit here, right, there's nothing needs to be returned from that function anyway. But the compiler will tell you that you don't return something from the function anyway, because that's how its control analysis works. It doesn't care whether this function kills the application or not. So essentially, some compilers can be sort of advised, don't try to do this kind of warning if I call this function, because this function never returns. So anything after that doesn't matter. So don't require me to put return 0 here, because that return 0 will never be reached here, because this thing kills the whole application. This function never returns. So no return is a hint for the control flow analysis of the compiler. For these kind of situations, this is not the only situation, but any sort of control flow like analysis. Does it make sense? Okay, cool. I feel edutained, cool. Alright, so basically, to do to actually report the place where something happened needs to be defined as a macro, unfortunately. So it has to be triple. Okay, so and now as you can see it crashes. To do, this thing is not implemented, and I can click here and it points here. So I think this should be a thing in the aids. I think to do should be redefined to do should be redefined as a macro. What do you guys think? I think it should be redefined as a macro. But the problem here is that if you redefine it as a macro, you change the semantic of this thing. So maybe there is a code that takes a pointer to this function or something like that. Well, taking a pointer to a templated function is actually a pretty nasty thing to do anyway. So, like, I mean, a templated function is not really existing function; it's just a set of functions. So, to take a pointer to this function, you have to instantiate it at least first. So it's really complicated. So I'm not sure, like, if turning this thing into a macro is a major release or a minor release. That's what I'm thinking. Like, I'm not sure what it is. C++ Bullock, I think we've added too much stuff to the language. Let's add even more stuff to fix it. That's a very fresh take on C++, Zano TJ. Thank you very much for sharing it. That was never actually said before. That's really fresh. Thank you. Okay. Additional arguments, file in line and wrap it around with the macro sounds a bit cumbersome though. No, I think what we can do, we can actually call macro like capital letters with a capital letter and deprecate this one. Something like this. How do you have like several attributes? C++ attributes. To attribute specify a sequence. What if I want to have several of them? So it's an attribute list. So essentially I just add deprecated here. Deprecated. Okay. And just explain that you have to use this one to do. But the problem with this to do is that I have snitch, which treats the to-do keyword as the keyword for, you know, for reporting stuff. So I'm not sure if it's a good idea generally or something. So I'll need to think about that a little bit more. Oh yeah, and of course, yeah. So, and once we do another major release, this kind of thing will be completely removed at some point. Yeah, let's quickly do that. So to do was deprecated. Use to do all capital instead. Okay. So we're gonna say here, how do we're gonna explain that? To do is a macro that utilizes file and line to report the location of your to-do. Which was not possible with to-do because it is a function, in aids.hpp file. So file and line will point to aids.hpp. Does it make any sense? Is templates is make linking and compiling much more slower? Yes, but how much? I don't know. Not sure if it's a useful question to ask, to be fair. It's a very... It's like asking, does car consume fuel? Yes? Okay. The end of the conversation. Okay, sure. Is that a useful conversation? Did we get any insights? Did we learn? Car consumes fuel. Cool. Alright, use to do instead. To do is a macro that utilizes file line to report the location of your to do, which is not possible with to do because it is a function in aids.hpp file. Because file and line point to the... Is that a good explanation? Use to do, all capital, instead. To do is a macro that utilizes file and line to report the location of your to do, which is not possible with to do because it's a function in aids.hpp, because file and line point to aids.hpp there. This to do is intended as in not implemented. Yeah, sure. Basically what I want to do, I want to just explain why this is not, like, you know, a thing I should be using. So I'm just looking for a deprecated, yeah, there we go. So warning. So yeah, to do is deprecated. Use to do, all capital, instead. To do is a macro that utilizes file and blah 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 blah. So yeah, so there's like a message that explains why it is deprecated. Right. So let me see. I kind of want to. So we have a bunch of warnings already here anyway. So I might as well just return them, or remove them, because I want to specifically see the warnings. The deprecation warnings. I think deprecation warning is a little bit more important in this particular case. So no declaration. Okay, so that requires me going here, right? So here's the render. Does it have an angle? Yeah, so we don't have an angle. It feels like I have some like old code, right? That hasn't been cleaned up properly. Okay, so oh, I see. Yes, thank you so much. This is exactly why I wanted to remove the angle, because I couldn't remember where do we even use that angle. Well, the answer is we use the rotation of the textures for projectiles, because projectiles basically point to where to their direction. Right, and yeah, so the only way for me to remember about that is just to remove that feature and see in which places the code breaks. Oh, okay, so it breaks in projectile. This is how I can remember that. Amazing, right? I'm basically using statically compiled languages to explore and remember and extract knowledge out of the codebase. Right, can your dynamically typed scripting languages do that? Well, they technically can do that, but at runtime. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? I think it's goddamn amazing. I don't know. I'm just saying. I think static typing is very important for big applications. I still don't understand how people can defend dynamic typing. What I'm eating? I'm eating chocolate. But hello, Muligor. Hello, hello. How are you doing? So it's really strange. Like I'm trying to understand the other side of the argument, and I still don't understand people who are defending dynamic typing. I still don't understand them. Are you on some low card? I'm on a low credit card diet. I don't have enough food to have enough money to buy food. Low card diet. Yes. Perfect. So let's continue. Alright, so now I need to remove all of this shit. Somehow. Though. Well, so this is the texture as angle. I don't think I need to modify anything here. But in here, and also don't need that. Okay, so it's gonna be something debug. Cool. Excuse me? Why is it using... Oh yeah, okay. So now in the compilation mode, we should see the warning. Yeah, here's the warning. Okay. So, and to fix that warning, I'll just have to use the capital letter one. Cool. Nice. So, and it reports the place where that kind of stuff happened. So the only problem with this to do I have is that it's not within the AIDS. It's not within the AIDS namespace. So this is the problem with preprocessor in C. It's impossible to take the preprocessor names and put them under a namespace because they are part of a different language. They're not really part of the main language. So it's kind of like a weird separation. Which is kind of unnecessary in my opinion. So this is why, by the way, why in BOSM, for example, the preprocessor is not a separate step. It's not even preprocessor, it's a translation directive, right? It's a translation directive. So let me take a look. So we have some examples here. Let's take a look at Fibonacci, and it has these translation directives, which look different from the main assembly, right? But they are not processed by a separate tool. They're processed by the translator itself, so it has the full context of the translation. And I think like C could have implemented something like that since the beginning. Like there is no reason to separate these phases into separate programs that don't have any information about each other. So like it's just like, why? Like even at the time, I think it would have been possible, right? Like I didn't see any problem to do that at the time in 70s. Like I did it in 2021 still using C, and I'm not that smart of a programmer. I'm definitely not on the level of Ritchie or Kerrigan or like Thompson, right? So definitely not. And I did it, and it's not that difficult. Just make this preprocessor part of the language, so the preprocessor at least have some sort of a... Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe that's why I'm not on their level, but it just doesn't make any sense. It's like a very huge design mistake. Anyway, so is it possible to maybe, I don't know, C++ is, and also to do is such a, yeah, maybe it's a really bad name to have. And what's funny is that I can't deprecate macros as well. Like with C++ names, I can at least put a deprecated attribute on them. I can't deprecate the macros, so it's just... C++ keeps delivering, I suppose. Maybe use unimplemented. How does that solve any of the problems that I just said? Oh, you're talking about naming collision. The naming collision is the least of the problem that I listed. Holy shit, like it's the least of the problems. It is a little bit of a problem, but it's not the most important problem, and it's not the most interesting one. Okay, literally bike shedding. Picking the simplest problem and just focusing on that without solving the actual problem here. Alright, so that means we're not gonna do that because I don't think it's that useful of a thing to do. So this is gonna be this. Let's finally focus on the, on rendering the texture, I suppose. Rendering the texture. So sprite from a texture index. So here's the texture index. And I'm gonna render this entire thing, and I'm gonna go to the sprite. So we have an angle. Oh yeah, and I still don't really know how I wanna provide the pivot, right? I provide the angle, but the pivot has to be like this, right? And I wanna make a pivot optional, but to make a pivot optional, the default value for a pivot is half of the width and half of the height of the texture. So that's kind of the problem. Destination though. Okay, so here's the question. Is something like dest rec width multiplied by half, dest rec h multiplied by half possible in C++? Can I refer as a default value to the previous value? So you see, I'm referring to dest rect as a default value for the next one. Is that a thing in C++? Let's find out. So I'm gonna actually make a small test, main CPP. C_studio. So we have something like x, and then you have y, which is x plus 69, right? And we're gonna print them. X equal d, and y equal d, and we're gonna just print all of them, right? Alright, so f for 20, and let's see what's gonna happen. I'm gonna build this entire thing first. And you cannot do that. By the way, here's an interesting thing. I recently started to learn Ada. Have you guys heard about Ada programming language? So it's a very old programming language designed by US military to take over the world. So, and it's actually pretty cool. I started to learn it recently, and I learn it on the Discord calls in our Discord server. So in our Discord server, we sometimes do this kind of like parties where we gather together in the call and we do different things. And I learned Ada on a Discord call. So Ada has default parameters, and Ada actually has a lot of modern language features, which makes it very interesting because it's a language from like 80s or 70s, I think it's from 80s, and it was designed like a modern language. And I wonder if something like that is possible in Ada. Let's actually find out. I'm gonna quickly check. I know that today is a C++ stream, but I want to quickly check how to do something like that in Ada. Right, so I'm gonna do main ADB. So this is the Ada. Oh yeah, I cannot use Ada in Emacs, unfortunately. So there we go. So the entry point for Ada is procedure. It looks a little bit like a Pascal, and as a matter of fact, the syntax was inspired by Pascal. So put line hello world, right? And let's. I think I also need to do with Ada text IO, and we're gonna actually use Ada text IO in here. And let's try to compile that. I think to compile that we have to use gnat make, and let's see. There we go. We created hello world in Ada. This is how hello world in Ada looks like. So let's try to see if we can do something like that. Procedure foo, it will accept x integer and y integer. So since it's a procedure, it's not going to return anything, it's just going to print things. So put line is going to be something like x equal integer. So to convert an integer to a string, you have to do something like integer image, right? And then, so ampersand is a concatenation operation. Inline procedure, yeah, so basically you can have a procedure in the declaration section of another procedure. As a matter of fact, you can go and allocate procedure like here. So it's a pretty flexible language. Even though it's a very old language, it has a lot of modern features. Right, so, and another thing is going to be y equal integer image. Syntactically, it looks very old. It looks very Pascalish, but overall, it's pretty good. So 69 for 20. So what should it do? It should print you 69 for 20. Okay, so let me try to rebuild it, and I missed the semicolon here. Okay, so there you go. So it printed 69 for 20. Nice, and it can also have default parameters. So essentially, I can put 42 here and just remove this parameter from here, and it will also work. Right, so you see, default parameter works. So, and the question is, can you reference the previous values in the default parameters of, optional values? X plus 420. Something like this, we already figured out, is not possible in C++. Is it possible in Ada? We're about to find out. Okay, so it's also not possible in Ada, and the question is why? Why is it not possible in Ada? Like, I think it should be possible in Ada. Anaboth, hello, welcome to the stream. What's up, Anaboth? So that's really strange. The title says C/C++, why do I see unholy Ada in my screen? So this is because we're exploring C++, right? And I want this kind of feature in C++. Right, and C++ does not allow you to do something like this. And I was wondering, does Ada allow you to do that? It doesn't allow you to do that either. And apparently, Outline already checked, you cannot do that in Rust as well. This is really strange. Like, why? Oh, and Rust, okay, checked. Rust cannot do default arguments at all. Okay. What language allows that? Well, I don't know. that's my question. Like, is it possible to do it at all? Because it's a really useful feature. Like, and I don't understand why language wouldn't allow you to do that. Like, X is known at this point. Like, why wouldn't you allow to do that? Like, it's such a useful thing. Python doesn't have it either. Is there like any reasoning why it is not a thing? Because like that would be pretty cool. You can do that. You don't have default parameters in C. Come on. Common Lisp perhaps? Yeah, Common Lisp have actually pretty sophisticated like optional parameters and stuff like that. Anyways, so yeah, and the reason why I want to do that is because I want the pivot to be half of the width and height of this rectangle if it's not provided. So, but then if you provide it, I want it to be something else. So, and the only way for me to do that is like SDL actually fixes that by accepting it by a pointer, right? Essentially, you can put a null there, right? You can put a null there, and null indicates that you have to calculate half of this stuff. But I mean, we're programming in C++ with aids. We might as well do something like maybe, and the default parameter could be like this, right? And yeah, and to pass this thing there, you would have to... Yeah, right now in AIDS there is no really convenient way of constructing like not empty maybe, right? So right now you do it like that, you provide true and you have to provide like the value. So what I'm thinking, maybe I'm gonna go and introduce into AIDS something like sum, right, sum pivot, which will automatically construct this thing for you. So yeah, I think finally useful feature for AIDS. Let's do that. Let's fucking do that, mate. Okay, so here's maybe, and we have unwrap. Unwrap into is not really used that often. Maybe make some a static function of maybe. But maybe is a template. So to have a static function in a templated structure, do you have to provide the types? Will the types inferred properly? I'm actually not sure. We can try, sure, but I actually doubt that they should. Okay. So it's gonna be maybe T, maybe something like static. Sum. Is this Rust leaking into C++? Sort of, actually. Like a lot of ideas here were not really inspired by Rust, but rather Haskell. But I mean, Haskell also influenced a lot Rust, so that's why it feels like very rusty, I suppose. Okay, so we can have X, and it doesn't have to be like that. And we're gonna return true X. Alright, so maybe I want to test this out. So I'm gonna include src aids.hpp, right, and then I'm gonna be using namespace aids. I'm gonna do something like maybe sum 69. Let's actually make the literal of a very specific type, so this is a float, and then I'm gonna say maybe float x, and then we can try to print that on the screen and see what's gonna happen. Alright. Okay, so how do I compile this entire stuff? Alright. Used without template parameters. So yeah, this is what I was afraid of Cloud9, right? So it's not a bad idea, but unfortunately C++ is incapable of inferring this parameter at all. Like it just cannot infer that. And it's kind of sad. If it could, it would be kind of cool, but it cannot do that. So yeah. That's why I wanted to... yeah, that sucks. Yeah, this really sucks. But literally, you just put it here, and it will automatically infer that, because it can infer by the arguments, right? But also you have to make a templated one. Oh, wait, you can do outer? Well, I mean, you mean outer put it here? But I'm not sure what does it change. I'm not sure what does it change. Template. You can add deduction guides. I don't know what it is. C++ deduction guides. Class template argument deduction. Implicitly generated deduction guides. Okay. Explicit specifier template. I worked with C++ once and we just spend hours debating stupid C++ rules instead of work. You're right. You're right. So the ultimate bike shedding language. Alright. Hold expression only available in C++. Okay, so it just complains about this thing. C++, C++ 17, and sum, and just do it like that, and it worked. Right, so I provide sum. Here it is. So yeah, should be good enough. Might as well. What if I do it like that? Should be okay. Yeah. Maybe in that case it makes sense to provide something like none then. Some. So, by the way, this entire thing could be a const expr function as well. Could be literally const expr. Maybe in that case it also makes sense to introduce something like none. Right, maybe t none. But you don't really need none, because doing something like this is faster than doing something like none, where you also have to provide the type, because it cannot infer it because it doesn't have input parameters. So I think none is not needed. I think none is not needed. Okay, so we're gonna have some, but we're not gonna have none. Alright, so, and now we can have a pivot, which is maybe, and essentially to return it, you'll have to do it like that. Alright. Oh, by the way, since in IAs we have some, we can go through all the places where we do this thing and just replace it with some. And that should work, actually. Oh shit, that's cool. Yeah, let me quickly do that. I'm gonna do a quick query replace. So we're gonna try to find all of these patterns which are true, and we're gonna capture everything within them. And I think I also need to escape this kind of stuff, right? So what we're doing, we're replacing it with some one. Yeah, and it didn't work. I wonder why. Is that because of this thing? Okay. Alright, so it seems to be working. Yeah, boy. That's cool. So instead of doing just like true, right, you can just do some. Emacs regular expressions, yeah. It is what it is though. So now we can do it like that, and then just some result. Now if I try to compile that, it complains about something. So string view. It cannot deduce string view. I suppose that's basically what's happened here. Yeah, now it works. Alright, so this is a 1.1 feature, that's for sure. Yeah, it's gonna be 1.10. Some add this thing. Cool. So, yeah. Are you guys ready for another release of AIDS? No, I actually removed deprecated to do because I think it's, yeah, like using macros like introduce more problems. Like macros are difficult to work with, so I'm gonna keep it like as it is right now. I'll think I can do that. So let me replace this stuff. So let me also go to the examples and just check if all of that compiles. This song is called Fat Cat. I really love this song. Okay. Okay. So yeah, everything seems to be okay. Fat Cat, yes, that's how it's called. So we're listening to this album here. It's unhealthy for the cat. Yeah, it is what it is. You know what? I think from now on, I have to be a little bit more careful with my releases. So I need to make them go through the continuous integration. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna create a new branch and just commit it there. Yeah, it's gonna be add this thing there. And I'm gonna push that right into the repo. Okay. All right. Rexem 8. Okay, so Linux, macOS, Windows seems to be king. By the way, your skin looks nice. Which skin? Minecraft? What do you mean? Which skin? Where? Your face? My face? Really? It's smooth. Okay, thank you. That's a very unexpected compliment, but thank you so much, I guess. It's not for sale. Yeah. I am worried, sorry chat. No, it's okay, don't be shy. Alright. Kinda emotional, I see. Right, so we need to merge this thing. So everything seems to be okay. Choice is gonna steal your skin. Alright, so that's really scary. Okay, so we're ready to do the official release of AIDS. There we go. The AIDS 1.1.0 has been officially released. Isn't that amazing? So, yeah. Thank you, Belgian. Yes, okay. God damn it. You guys are creeping me out a little bit, not gonna lie. Not creating release. I mean, it's literally a single HPP file. What kind of release do you want me to create? Like, it's... I mean, okay, so how do you create a release? Does anyone know how to create releases? I can start creating them from now on, sure. Create a new release, cool. A release title 1.1.0 and I can write some release notes if you want, sure, I don't mind. Okay, so AIDS. So this is gonna be like this. Describe this release. So also you can attach binaries by dropping them here, but we don't have any binaries, so the artifact is essentially a single HPP file. Okay, let me do the following thing. I'm gonna do PCM-FM. Here is the file manager. And what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna drop the HPP right there. And I'm gonna so this is gonna be the artifact, the downloadable artifact, just for you. That's kind of the point of the library, right? Graphical file manager. Well, I mean, we discussed that multiple times, right? So, I mean, it's pretty cool that you can do like everything using on the keyboard. But some of the interactions with the UI are more convenient with the mouse. For example, drag and drop. Right, so for example here, it would take me too much time to just navigate around and just find this thingy, and it would be just so not really convenient. It's way easier for me, like, okay, I'm here, I just do PCM-FM, right, and it does support drag and drop, and just drag and drop that thing here. It's just way faster. Seriously, and this is the only reason why I have PCM-FM like installed on my machine, because sometimes it's just faster to drag and drop. Yeah, drag and drop is like a really convenient feature in my opinion. Tag version, yeah, so it's gonna be something like this, right? So it's tag version, and there we go. Publish release. Is that what you guys wanted? So there you go. Cool. Actually release now. So something. Okay, and yeah, what I can do here now, I can say that we upgraded the aids. Upgrade aids 101 and 110, and we're gonna push that right into the repo. Okay, let's try to compile our game and see how it goes. So we have discrepancies here. So maybe vector 2f pivot. And here's an interesting thing. So in SDL rect, so this is SDL point. Oh, we're actually using SDL point. I never used this data structure. Yeah, music is actually pretty cool. So you can find the album here, and I also recommend you to check other songs by the same artist. Seriously, like just check them out. They're amazing. And thank you so much for like to Ceremony who actually showed me all of these songs. This is fucking amazing. Didn't go to the rally in support of the Berlin patient. I'm too old for that, Cooper and Sanchez. I'm sorry. I'm kind of a very apolitical person, and yeah, so I just want to do my thing, just program things, and it's not for me. Sorry. So I mean, good luck to all the people who actually went there. So hopefully they will not be, you know, hopefully their lives won't be ruined after that. So that's the only thing I can say. What is talking? We have a very complicated situation. So like political situation and stuff like that. Navalny finally returned to Russia, and he was instantly detained. And we have, you know, a little bit of a political stuff going on right now in the country because of that, so don't worry about it. It was rough in Novosibirsk according to the news. Well, I can imagine, yeah. Novosibirsk is a big city, like it's one of the major cities, so I wouldn't be surprised if they try to suppress all of that pretty violently there. Alright. So this is gonna be the pivot, and how are we gonna actually do the pivot? How are we gonna actually do the pivot? So pivot is gonna be, if it has a value, well, this one is interesting actually. We can pre-compute the pivot, I think. Would you put your Haskell AOC solutions on GitHub? I already did. You can find them here. So there's AOC 2020 and AOC 2019, and the solutions are rare. So 2019 doesn't have all of the solutions because I haven't solved all of them yet. So as I solve more, there will be more solutions there. Yeah. So destruct, and it's gonna be width, and height. Alright. So, and what I want to do here, I want to probably floor fit real quick. And I would assume that SDL point actually has integers. Can you solve this to ever need this on my CV? So you wanna actually, so, I mean you wanna farm contributions for CV, and unironically, well, if you unironically need contributions for CV, just let me know, maybe in PM or something, and I can make you a list of simple issues that you can contribute to my different projects. Oh, you okay? But for real, if anyone needs contributions for their CV or for something for their profile, hit me up on via email or like PM me or something. I have shit ton of different projects. Like seriously, I have shit ton of pet projects. I can go through them and just find simple issues for you that you can solve and contribute to. So your contribution is gonna be there. I'm actually okay with that. Seriously, maybe I should. Yeah, like you know, there is a tag, good first issue, right? Maybe I should start using that tag for my project, so people can go to the projects and filter by that tag and just do something. Yeah, okay, that's a very interesting idea actually. Like I said, delegate work to junior developers. Yeah. Been for so long that I feel like I probably missed around 5 new projects. Yeah, that's true. Actually, we developed a lot of different projects. Okay, so let's continue. So what do we have? What do we got? So it's gonna be yeah. I wanted to take a look at the definition of SDL point. Yes, it is integers. It is a bunch of integers. Cool. And the thing I want to do here is essentially if pivot right has a value, we return a pointer to the pivot. Otherwise, we return null PTR. Right. So that's how it's gonna go. Let's actually call it center because the pivot is already taken. So here's the center. It could be even called default center. Wait a goddamn second. I don't even need to do that because essentially pivot is going to be X and Y, so this is essentially what we do here. And then, if pivot has a value, I just return the center. This one is a little bit complicated, like, I'm not even sure. Because pivot may not have this kind of stuff, but okay, so if it's zero initialized, this thing will make sense anyway, regardless, so I don't think it's that big of a problem here. Right, so, alright, looks good to me. Yeah, strange interface, but I mean, yeah, it is what it is. Oh yeah, you have to unwrap all of that, of course. Before you can access any of the values, you have to unwrap them. Alright. So it's gonna be maybe vector 2f pivot. Unused parameter pivot. Alright, so let's make it a used parameter now. I kind of want to make a small break because I need to pee. I drank too much tea. Alright. Okay. Okay, so there's also this thing. So unused parameters, nothing particularly special. So people pp, haha. So I'm gonna do it like that. Basically, don't treat warnings as errors. And everything seems to be working. Alright, chat. I really need to go to the toilet, so I'm gonna quickly make a small break. Small break, 2 minutes. Yep. So let's make a small break. You guys have. What's up? Okay, while I was peeing, I was thinking about cross-referencing default parameters, right? So the ones that we were checking, let me see. So, yeah, let's actually go back. These ones. Like, I still don't understand why this is not a thing. Seriously, I still don't understand. Look, how would I implement default parameters? Essentially, I would implement them like that on the level of the compiler. I would basically desugar this call into this call. Just desugar, okay? So, and if we're talking about desugaring, right, so if I do something like this, right, I would just desugar this call to this call. And this is a perfectly valid expression, like, I mean, yeah. So the only problem I can see is that if you have something like this, where you have function g, so the desugaring will turn this into something like this. So basically, instead of a single call, now we have 2 calls. So you need some sort of additional mechanisms to prevent that. So essentially, you will have to desugar this into something like xg, y x plus 1, right, let's put it this way, x, y, something like this, which is also not that difficult to do, right? So arguments in C++ are calculated in undefined order. Oh, okay, I see. So basically, okay, I see. So they are computed in undefined order, and that is needed for some sort of optimizations. Essentially, by allowing the default arguments to cross-reference each other, you forcing a particular order on them, preventing all sorts of optimizations. Okay, finally that makes sense. Thank you so much. If G has a side effect, that's UB, I think. Yeah, true. Okay, thank you so much. You guys helped me to understand why it is not like that. But at the same time, like in a language with the minimum UB, this shouldn't be a problem. Like Ada pride itself into like in having like the minimal amount of undefined behavior, right? In a language, like in a very strict language with a little amount of undefined behavior, why shouldn't be something like that possible? Yeah. Okay. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of like turns more into a philosophical thing rather than actual technical one, but yeah. Anyways, it's not undefined on the stack. The parameters are reversed. On which stack? What are you talking about? I would argue that on my machine, these parameters won't be on the stack. I'm using x86-64 Linux. And according to the calling convention of x86-64 on System 5, the first 5 parameters are always passed via the registers. So, what? What are you talking about? So, it's undefined in a sense of the semantic of C++, but on specific platforms, it could be like that. When talking about the parameter order, we're talking about parameter evaluation order in C/C++. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so what were we doing? I kind of understand the reasoning why it is not a thing, but I'm still disappointed that it's not a thing. Right? It's not satisfying answer. It is not a satisfying answer anyway. Because the whole discussion turns from, from having a nice feature to whether we actually, philosophically, hypothetically, actually need undefined behavior. And this is such an old argument that, okay, so we're hit that wall again. What the fuck are you doing with the headphones? I'm using them. Alright. What do you guys mean? Okay. Well, oh, you mean when I do something like this? Oh yes. Yes, I can. Alright. So Sprite, HPP. It's a skincare. The vibration of from the music makes the skin so smooth, right? So sure. God damn it, people! Crazy Russian hacker again. Yes, exactly. So what I want to do here, so we have a begin and we have a direction. Alright, so I need to find a point, right? I need to find a point, and I need to find this specific point. And that specific point is essentially 0, height, half of a height, so that's the point I have. That's why I don't have a nice skin. Yeah. Speaking of Crazy Russian, there is this really good CRPG, in case you guys are, it's called Atom RPG. Never heard of it, sorry. I don't play video games, I'm sorry, I really don't play video games. Okay, so what we need to do here, we need to... Yeah, so the destination has to be... Yeah, we need to have full control over the over this stuff. Okay, so we do have a renderer. So what about the rectangle? The rectangle, as far as I know, takes a point in here, so this is a destination. Ooh. So I'm not sure how to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna make an executive decision of putting question mark in here, which will make my program not compilable, as we know. Right, so you always have a choice. If you want to make your program not compilable, you put a question mark. If you want to make it compilable, you remove a question mark. So right now I'm making an executive decision of making my program not compiled by putting question mark in it. Alright, so let's continue. Right, SDL is gonna be that. Shade. I suppose I can keep it like this. Sure. Angle. Angle will depend on the actual angle of the direction. So yep. Do we have a function that calculates an angle of the by the way, why don't we accept an angle here? Why this is not a thing? Just accept an angle. Just accept an angle. It's that fucking easy. By the way, when we accept an angle to there, like right in here, angle is a fucking devil, mate. Okay, so it has to be double. Let's make it double. Alright, so and the pivot is gonna be what? What? And is it relative to this thing? A pointer to a point indicating the pivot around which rotating around dest. Is it relative? Wait a second. Is it absolute or relative function? It doesn't really tell us. This thing indicates that it might be relative. But this documentation is not enough. Indicating the point around which dest will be rotated if no rotation will be done around. This is not enough. Is it relative or absolute? The only way to find out, chat, is to actually read the source code of SDL2. Welcome to the reality of software development. Right, the documentation doesn't tell you shite, so you have to go and read the source code. I think I do have a source code somewhere on my machine. SDL2? Do I have SDL2? Where is SDL2 though? I didn't even have a SDL2 source code. Look at that. Look at that. Alright, so we'll have to download it then. And luckily, we're living in the open source era. Right, we're living in the open source era, which means... Oh, don't starve actually using SDL2, nice. I didn't know that. Download. Okay, SDL version 2.014. So we're gonna use a tarball, right? Fuck zip. I'm gonna download this thing and let's just wait. Installing Arch for the first time today, well, good luck. Can you do a Twitch gambling thing where we can guess? How? Okay. Twitch gambling. Do you guys get anything out of that gambling? Okay. Is that a bet? How is it called? Bet. So we can start a poll. Prediction. Okay, prediction. Okay. Cool. I added it to my quick action. Start a prediction. So name the prediction. Is the center of relative or absolute? Relative, absolute. Submission period. Well, I don't know how much time it will take me to do that. Let's put 5 minutes. Okay, center, relative, or absolute. Start prediction. You or a mod will need to confirm the outcome within 24 hours of the end of the prediction submission. Once you start a prediction, you cannot change it except to delete it. Okay. Alright. So we have a prediction. Mods? Mods? So maybe I should actually have like chat open or something. Okay. So we downloaded the source code. Oh shit, that was a mistake. Okay. Yeah? Why can't I find this error in... Okay, so here's the center. So we have F center, so we have SDL F point. So, and then we use exf. So, center. Okay. So if it's not provided, we're gonna do it like that. A real center. So, right, the real center. We multiply it by scale, so there is some sort of a scale. Well, it literally sets it to that. Doesn't really tell us much. Okay, so we have to go into the QCMD copy exe. God damn it. So many layers of indirection, by the way. Alright, so let me go here. It will actually depend on the driver, I think. Okay, so we're using OpenGL driver. That's for sure. So that means we're looking for GLQ Q copy exe. So this is what we're looking for. So C render OpenGL render GL. Cool. Center. So here's the center X and center Y. So then we use center X. Okay, so we have min X and min... It's relative. Yes. It is relative. Okay, chat. Who won? Wait. I accidentally nuked my alerts. Okay, whatever. Alright. So... Oh yeah, majority of people actually... How do I confirm the thing now? End submission. How do you confirm it? Choose outcome. Oh, okay. So it's relative. Complete prediction. So are you sure outcome? Once you choose the outcome, viewers will have choose the correct outcome will be awarded points. You will now be able to reverse your choice. Okay, complete prediction. There we go. So it was relative. Who won? Zulu. Gambling. Yeah. So is it entertaining? So we can do that more often if it's entertaining. So transform, reset transform, there we go, here's my alerts, there we go. You win 85, so addicting, okay. That's pretty cool, so it was relative. Interesting, like, and yeah, it all depends on the driver, essentially. That's a lot of points. I come to Sonic stream to gamble. Nice one. Out9, are you okay? Out9 seems very, very mad. Let's make a cup of tea, I suppose. Oh, you lost? I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry if you lost. So maybe we shouldn't do that anymore. Oh, you didn't even bet. Okay. Chat, calm down. Calm down. I think I should rename the points because. Okay, so this is relative one, and yeah. That's positive. You don't need a haircut during lockdown. I wish me too. Well, that's true, but it's like I have to shave my head like every 3 days. So it's not like I don't need a haircut. I do need a haircut, and quite often, but I can do the haircut myself. So that's basically the difference, and that's basically what I'm going for, because I hate taking going to the hairdressers. Like, yeah, because I'm a very asocial person. Yeah. So, alrighty. Wasting time every 3 days. Well, I mean, I'm wasting 20 minutes, actually. So, it's pretty... And I actually become way better and better over time. So, I want to cut my time down to 10 minutes, I think. If I can get it to 10 minutes, I think it will be perfect. You know, bold speedrun joke. Am I right? Haha. So here's the pivot. Pivot has to be, in terms of x, it has to be 0. Make Tsoding coin for profit. No. So, and the pivot in this case is gonna be, well, it depends on the texture actually. So the sprite, we need to have a sprite in here. I normally just buzz my head at the end of the week and only shave if I need to look fancy. I see. Bitsoy. Okay. Alright, chat, alright. So I need to save the sprite somewhere here. So it's gonna be a sprite like this. Right, it's gonna be sprite. There we go. We had Yak shaving on stream, Tsoding shaving. Yeah, I'm gonna call my shaving session Yak shaving. Sure, that's a good idea. Amazing. So X is this, and the height, it will just depend on the height, I suppose. So do I have that definition in the sprite though? So in sprite I have a src rect. Alright, so that's cool. I can do sprite src rect, can take height, and I can just take a half of it. And in the render, depth rectangle. Okay, depth rectangle is essentially going to be... hey fellow coder, I'm trying to code. Okay, I'm really glad for you. And I think I will start with C#. I cannot C#, you know, glasses. Funny joke, funny C#. Okay, I'm sorry. Because many say it can be used for variable things, and its concept can be used for other languages later on. Since you have experience with C programming, any tips? What is your opinion on C#? It's a yet another language. It's a yet another programming language. A managed one, by the way, with a garbage collection, but it's compiled and statically typed. So, yeah. So my opinion on C# is basically my opinion on managed, statically typed compiled languages. And I do like statically typed compiled languages, but I don't really like managed languages. So, you know, it's 50-50. That's basically my opinion on C#. Any tips on C#? I don't really know C# that well. I programmed only once in my life in C# and I quite liked it. To have any tips, I would suggest asking somebody who has more experience with C#. Yeah, so C# and C are as closely related as Java and JavaScript. Yeah, probably. I don't know what to say. The person is obviously like a new developer, so this question looks reasonable to me for a new developer. Only disadvantages of learning C# is learning the fundamental principle of OOP. Which ones, though? It's fun. Didn't say it's good, I said it's fun. Yes, this is basically my opinion on Haskell, by the way. This is literally what I think about Haskell. I don't think Haskell is a good language, but I do think it's a fun language. Yes. Nice. Thank you so much, Annaboth. I confuse you actually. I'm sorry. So, what I wanted to say. We need to figure out the second parameter of render. The second parameter of render. Destruct. So destruct. Where are we gonna render all of that shite? That's a good question. That's a very good question. Well, we can just use src rect and we can shift it, hopefully. Right, we can just use src rect and shift it. But how we can shift it? I wish I could just do something like plus begin and it will automatically shift the position of this thing. But maybe I don't have to do that. It just depends on the math stuff, right? And it broke again. Fook Dragonfly. Wait, are you trying to run something on Dragonfly BSD? Or... Yeah, because right now I still haven't addressed the problem with the sound you reported. I'm really sorry about it. So, I'm really sorry. Yes. Okay. Or wait, are you using Dragonfly BSD like on a daily basis? Like your Hotspot uses FreeBSD on a daily basis? No, I'm just trying to install the forking system, but package keeps crashing. Interesting. I already know two people who like actively using BSD. Like it's the first one is Hotspot and use the second one. Interesting. So BSD becoming new Linux, I think. I think BSD truly becoming new Linux. Yeah. So essentially, as Linux becomes more and more mainstream, it becomes more and more normie. So to separate yourself from normies, you have to search for a different operating system, and BSD is the only candidate. Not only, well, I mean, we have many BSDs, but I should install BSD on my laptop or something. Yeah, to be hipster enough. But I don't use Dragonfly. I use Windows. Dragonfly is just a pet OS. Ah, okay, makes sense. I see what you mean. Pet OS, very interesting term. Okay, so for the rectangles, do we have operator plus? Is BSD good? Nobody uses BSD because it's good. As Annaboth said, because people use it because it's fun. Right. Okay, so I want to take a look at the Okay, so I do have an operator that offsets this stuff. That's actually pretty cool. These functions, oh my fucking god, what are you talking about? These functions are okay. What functions are you talking about? These functions? That makes sense to me. You haven't seen Java code yet. Right, it's just a templated const expr operator overloading. What's so special about that? Templated const expr operator overloading. Just a regular C++ code. Looks reasonable to me. Okay, go. So I can shift begin and end, right? And on top of that, I kind of want to also introduce like the pivot here. So it's gonna be like const pivot like this. So it's gonna be begin, and then I add pivot here. Actually, do I have to add it? No, I have to subtract it to properly do that. So I'm subtracting this thing and just doing this thing. Can I then like use this stuff for zero initialization? I think I should be able to. And also making it a const, right? So there we go. This one is outer as well. Cool. Immutability. How about that? Do you guys like immutability? Immutability is my favorite. So does this shit compile even? This is not how you compile code, by the way. So let's do something debugus. To immutability, yeah. So it couldn't deduce. It couldn't deduce. So I have to use vec2 then, because it couldn't deduce thing. Alright, so we have that. No match operator for vec2 SDL rect. Wait a second. Are you telling me that Sprite is using SD? Disgusting. Disgusting. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. So can I convert SDL rect to actual rectf? So maybe there should be something for that. SDL rect. So rect for SDL, but how do I do the opposite thing where I can accept SDL rect and turn it into... There is no such function. Disgusting. I need to make a cup of tea, chat. I really need to make a cup of tea, so I'm gonna quickly go to the kitchen, turn on the kettle, and I'm gonna be back and we're gonna continue doing this shite. Hopefully. We'll see how it goes. Hello. Welcome. Okay, so we need a function. It should take rectf. It should return rectf, but it should accept rect. It's called SDL rect. So, and what we do here, we just return it like this. So it's going to be rect vec2 SDL rect x, SDL rect y. Well, I mean, we can just do it like this then. SDL rect x. Hello, beat69 trim. Hello, hello. SDL rect y. So maybe we can do something like this. SDL rect w, SDL rect h. Cool. So hopefully that will do the trick. Is it gonna do the trick? It doesn't do the trick, Rooney. Narrowing conversion from int to float. Sure, but that's kind of exactly what I want here. So just return it like, you know, like this. What else do we want? Okay, so I need to come up with a name for this function. So rectf from SDL. Right, so it's going to be rectf from SDL, right? So then we offset everything and then we do everything else. So it doesn't really compile because this thing has to be some pivot, right? Hopefully that will finally work. Yeah, you have to provide the angle. So instead of like this direction and shit, you have to provide an angle. But do we have a function that calculates an angle of a vector? Right, I don't remember. So such function should definitely use a tan2. So we don't have such function, angle. So you can construct polar coordinates and stuff like that, but yeah. So can I extend vector? So you can, oh shit, that's actually cool. You can map a vector, but yeah. So let's do an angle. But angle will greatly depend on, yeah, so we have to do something like vec2f angle. So it's going to be float vec2f angle, so it will accept vec2f v2 and just use a tan2. So do we have a tan2 in C? Nice one. Thank you so much. So C a tan2. And by the way, does it crash if you provide 2 zeros for a tan2? Yeah, we just have to do it like that. Okay, cool. So let's do a little bit of an experimentation, chat. A little bit of experimentation. So here we have that. I want to kind of include src aids.hpp and also include math.h, as actually since it's a C++, it has to be cmath. Right, and we're gonna have float x, which is a 69, right, it's gonna be that, and then we're gonna have y, which is 420, and I'm gonna do print ln a tan2 yx, right, yx, and let's see what's gonna happen. Can I do something like this? Const auto, cool. Let's try to compile this entire stuff. std, the standard is gonna be C++ 17, and let us see. So std out has to be the output. Hello, Columbetka. How are you doing? Using namespace 8. Okay, so it does complain about something which I don't really understand what's complaining about. Are you telling me that we don't have a double printer or something? Is that what you're telling me? Or excuse me, I'm pretty sure we had a double printer. Okay. So now I can try to run this entire stuff, and that worked. Okay, so that kind of works. Now, what if I set both of them to 0? So that's a good question. 0. Is it gonna crash or anything? It doesn't crash, it also returns 0. Okay, so I don't have to worry about it too much. Why don't you use a tan2f? I just used it, so yeah. My tea is ready, by the way, so I'm gonna quickly go to the kitchen, just pour myself some hot water, and I'm gonna be back, and we continue working on this stuff. Does it sound good? Sounds good? Yes, there we go. Alright, I'm back with tea. But you didn't expect that shit to happen, huh? Alrighty. Dude, X and Y switched places. Yes. Alright, so let's continue. So in this case, we're gonna just do A10 2. I mean, since it's such a simple function, do we really need a function for that? I think it's gonna be faster to just... Well, you may have vector as an expression. In that case, yeah, it would be a little bit better to have it like that, yeah. Because it could be an expression. Yesu, kawaii desu. So entity, it's entity, there we go. Alright, so we have a direction. I map it to the screen. To be fair, for the direction, for the just angle, we don't need it to be on the screen. I can just do vector F angle, and it's gonna be okay. Like this. So let me try to compile that now. I'm compiling the wrong thing, by the way. Making this something debuggus. Okay, it compiles. Which is interesting. So here's the moment of truth. We should be able to see whether we succeeded in game industry, because we finished the rendering of the gun. Right, so we extended the interface of rendering, we added the rotation and whatnot, angle. So, are you ready, chats? Are you mother flipping ready? I'm about to run this entire thing, and well, it kind of worked. But the problem here is that I forgot that angle is in degrees, but not in the radians, and we have radians, so that means to convert it to radians we have to do first of all we have to multiply it by 180 and divide it by pi, right? Do I have pi defined anywhere? Define pi or something? Okay, so I don't remember. Do I use mpi? No, just pi? I think I just have pi defined somewhere. Yes, that's my definition of pi. Yes, that's what I use here. Alrighty, so let me see. And yeah, there we go. This is my gun. How do you like my gun, chat? Holy, it feels so cool, by the way. Believe it or not, it actually feels so cool. Well, I mean, it still shoots not correctly, not from the point of the gun, right? But this is such a cool gun. This is so funny. Okay. Woo! So essentially, when you are on the left, you need to rotate it. So this is one of the things you will need to do. You need to basically flip the image. What's the step to find the point of... You can hard code it. You can basically hard code it, I think, for specific sprites and whatnot. But overall, that's so cool. By the way, I suppose the enemies also use this gun, right? Because, yeah, everyone uses this gun. Yes. So... This is so funny, holy shit, this is so hilarious. Oh, and also we have to take shade into account. Yeah, shade has to be taken into account. So the shade is passed in here, so we also have to accept it here. So I'm gonna put it like this, RGBA shade, and we're gonna set the shade. Mesh shade. No, shade is basically what makes the textures darker when you leave the room. I'm gonna show you. So let's try to recompile this thing. Hello Anthrax, welcome to the stream. It's a big sword from the anime games. Yes, that's what it is. So I'm gonna just pass the shade in here. Shade shaders. Haha. Alright, so if I try to run that, and I'm gonna spawn an enemy in here, and when I leave the room, Oh shit, it doesn't do the trick. Oh, it doesn't rotate. Holy shit. Okay, the shadow is not, so you can see the shadow here, but the shadow is supposed to be rotated. Okay, so that's a bug. We found a bug, which is pretty cool. All right, so and now to fix that bug, when we're rendering things, yeah, there we go. So essentially what I have to do here, I have to repeat this thing for the shade as well. There we go. So let me close that, and if I try to run that and I create the oh shit, it instantly killed me. Holy fuck. Okay, so it still didn't work? Yeah, it's just not rotated properly. What the fuck? Oh, because we don't pass an angle as well. I found so many bugs so far. Holy fuck. Okay. Should be spawned at the top of... Yeah. So I know that I haven't finished this thing yet. So I'm in the middle of the thing. The code is not finished yet. Okay. So here's the thing. Let me... Oh shit. So basically, you see, when I leave the room, the gun becomes darker. Like everything in a different room becomes darker, and this is what I was fixing essentially. So yeah, so that is gun is also affected by that. So yeah, so yeah, let's continue. Boom, boom. All right, nice. So the question is how, like, where is the gun? And maybe we will also have different kind of guns, and we'll need descriptions of the guns as well. You just draw a black version. Yes. Welcome to SDL2. I know, it's dumb. But SDL2 by itself doesn't really have that many shader capabilities. So this is one way to do that, right? So that's why not that many people actually code directly in SDL2. They rather use SDL as an OpenGL initializer, but I'm one of those people who do program purely in SDL2. Not shader, but can't you edit the texture? Well, probably can. But this is just faster in terms of coding. It's just like easier to code. Yeah. So maybe we can change that in the future, but it works. I mean, games are smoke and mirrors anyway, so yeah, it's just all about like different tricks that you can come up with. Smoke and mirrors. Oh, well, I meant smoke and mirrors. Not really in mirrors, but and. Alright, cheers. Let's continue. Smoking is bad for you. Wow, you're so smart. Cool. No. So where is the gun? By the way, maybe I'm gonna remove this thing here. So we don't need this stuff anymore. That's for sure. Don't need this stuff anymore. So I'm thinking we need to reduce the size of this entire thing, right? So this is a sprite, and we take its a rectangle, right? So maybe I should also introduce destination rectangle. So let's go dest dir, dest rect, and the dest rect essentially is going to be like this. So this is the destination rectangle, and here we use the destination rectangle's height, right? So, and here I just use dest rect. And what this thing will do for us, I can easily now scale this entire thing in half. But I don't think it's gonna work that easily. I don't think it's gonna work that easily. unless I implement an operator. Wait a second. AIDS. Do I have that shit actually? Operator multiplication. Oh shit. This thing. This thing multiplies everything, including axis, so it actually scales it too much. But I only want to multiply width and height. I wonder how can you do that? Croatian chat, yes. How is the earthquake situation in Croatia, by the way? From Nafli I heard a lot of scary things. Like you had like 3 major earthquakes there. So yeah, I hope you guys staying safe there. Cause yeah, earthquakes are fucking dangerous. Okay. Moncagiga, yes, exactly. Moncagiga. I remember experiencing an earthquake when I was a kid. So, in the middle of a night, which was especially scary, right? Me and my parents had to actually like run outside during the night because of the earthquake, because we were scared because the building would collapse or something. So this shit is not fun. Yeah. I'm from Croatia, but the earthquake situation was quite bad. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, earthquakes are no fun. So, did you leave a lot of damage? You mean in Croatia or in my situation? It was a very long time ago, and it wasn't that big of an earthquake, but it was scary anyway. Yeah, it didn't do much damage, but it was just, you know, a little bit spooky. So we were lucky enough. So do I use this function anywhere? So operator multiply for the rectangles. Where do I use that? So let me actually get rid of that. Emotional damage, yes, this was a traumatizing experience. A truly traumatizing experience. Okay, so this is what we have here. And I multiply. So a camera locks and we multiply them by tile size. Alright, where's another place where we use that? So we only use that in here. So it's always tile size and it's always locks. That's really strange. Who introduced this function? Let me see. Did I introduce that function or somebody else? I think I introduced that function. See Earth, yes. Excuse me? Okay. That was really useless. Alright, so let me do the following thing. The only thing I want to do here is just like multiply width and height by, you know, a certain amount. So maybe I'm going to introduce just a function rect, maybe templated one, type name t, so it's going to be like this, rect f scale, it will just do something like that. Oh, wait a second, in those places, so here's the lock ABS, and we check if it contains. It's very strange. So the camera lock. Oh yeah, I see. I see why it would be like that. I see. So it's a kind of like a completely different case. Yeah, kind of a completely different case. So it's going to be t rect and scalar, and we can call it scale size, right? So, and we're gonna construct a completely different rectangle. rect rect2 or x y and rw multiplied by s or h multiplied by s. So this is basically what I want to scale here. Hopefully that will give me the thing. So rect from f and rect scale size, and we want to scale it like this. This is what we want to scale it. Cool. Is it gonna compile? Please tell me that it's gonna compile. So I'm gonna scale down the gun. That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, now the gun is scaled down. Perfect. This is so cool. This feels so cool, actually. So let's scale it even further, like quarter of the size. So it doesn't really have to be that small. That gun, you see it for the first time, you didn't see the original size of the gun. This size is perfect, I really like this size. So the original size of the gun when the scale factor was 1, let me show you. Okay. Oh shit. Did I recompile? I think I forgot to recompile. Size XXL. Yes. Yes. So this is how originally it looked like, because this is the original size of this sprite. So yeah. So, oh shit, I clicked accidentally on. Yeah, but I don't think it's a good size. I think around 0.25 should be okay. Also, the begin of the gun. How do we use that? So we just use the position. Okay, so this is the position of the sprite. So, Morrigan gun. Aha. I think this size is perfect. I really like this size. I think it's just fucking perfect. I'm gonna keep it like that. So 2 points. When the gun on the other side, the image has to be flipped. That's very important. So how are we gonna do that? I think we can just, you know, check the angle, right? So you have an angle, you can make that decision there. Right. So, but the angle has to be converted properly. Nice gun assumes scale. I guess as gun. So it's gonna be like this. Actually want to put it there. You should hug the enemy and no one will kill each other. What is this, Undertale or something? No, this is a violent game. Alright, so here's the angle, and I think I can try to normalize it, something like fmod from 0 to pi, right, from 0 to pi. So it's gonna be like this. And I got that idea from the Advent of Code Day 10, actually. I guess I learned something from the previous Advent of Code, because some of the ideas actually with angles, I'm starting to use them in other places. Apparently Advent of Code is useful. Alright, so essentially, yeah, what we can do, so you start from 0. Yeah, it's really not convenient, but at the same time, you actually pointing down, right? You actually pointing down. And if your angle is less than 2 pi, yeah, so we can try to do something like this then. So I'm gonna essentially... Oh yeah, wait a fucking second. We have to do it like 360. Yeah, 360. Or something. And it's gonna be like this. So from 0, so we're starting from 0, and it's actually 90 if it's... Okay, I need to draw a little bit. I thought that you returned to eBisp after coding VM in AOC. I'm not sure if you're watching it, I'm sorry. Okay, so here's Y and here's X. So we have like a really similar situation. So this is 0. So essentially, I I want to be able to just have a single value to know whether I need to flip or not to flip. Right, 270, I think it's a 270, yeah. So I have a range from like here. And maybe if I, for example, so if it's 80, I want it to be less than 80 or greater. So that means if I have an angle, right, I need to add 90. I need to add 90. That will bring this thing here, and I can just use discrimination 180 and not 180 to see if I have to switch or not, if you know what I mean. So I guess that's how we're gonna do that. So that means if I have plus 90 and this thing is greater than 180, or maybe equal, whatever. So I'm doing that in an incorrect place, by the way. So I have to do it somewhere here. So if it's that, flip, we do the flip, otherwise we don't do the flip. Right, and what kind of flips do we have there? So SDL flip, where, what kind of flips? Is it horizontal SDL flip? Show me the SDL flips. SDL flip horizontal, I think this is how it's called. Yeah, horizontal. I might as well actually, like, I can type it out myself. Horizontal. Alright, so maybe that will work for me. Let me see. Are you gonna compile, Mr. Compiler? It seems to be compiling. Well, it has to be vertical, first of all. Yes, vertical. Then we did a fucky wacky, ooh, and maybe even oopsie doopsie. I think this time busting stream needs more points. Okay. Okay, this is good. Look at that. This is good. This is not good. Well, to be fair, like, we know how to flip because we have a direction. Right. Boosting. Maybe. So how do we do the flip? Gun direction, if it's... We just used X. Alright, so I can pass the flip here. SDL flip. What is it called? Render flip. Yeah. Render flip. Flip. And instead of doing that, I can just do flip. Because I do know how to make that decision. Essentially, gun... So I can just use the flip from that thing. Do we use it? Yeah, we use it actually in all the places. Render flip has not been declared. How is it called? SDL render... Renderer flip. It's a renderer flip. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so the thing here is that that one uses horizontal one, and we need a different one. Okay. Yes, vertical. Almost there. We're almost there, chat. Almost there. Yes. Perfect. So now, as you can see, it flips like that. Yes, it's absolutely fucking perfect. I absolutely love it. Cool. So yep. That's super cool. Cool. I love it. I love it so much. That looks fun. It is fun. Trust me. Let me try to play with the size of the gun. Maybe we can make it slightly better. So I'm gonna introduce something like a float gun scale. We can actually make it something like this. Gun scale. Right. So if you try to compile that, it's not gonna compile because it has to be a var_conf. Vars_conf. Do we have anything related to gun? Entity gun length. Okay, so maybe it makes sense to also call it entity gun scale, and right now it's going to be float 1. And it's going to be entity gun scale. Alright, are you gonna now work? Do we even use gun length now? I don't think we use gun length now. Okay, so the reason why I wanted to have it like that is because now, alright, so this is the thing. I might as well actually just put it like that. Vars_conf, and we can tweak the size of the gun. Right, so we can make it twice as big here, so it's controlled by the thingy. So it could be even smaller than this. So it could be very small. So it's a PPL gun. But I personally kind of like 25. I think 25 is actually pretty good. So you can see the gun, you can see its direction, and it's pretty fun. It's really fucking fun. I really love it. So, and with the fire, it's also really cool. Is that your gun, or you're just happy it what? Sorry. Okay, cool. So around 25 is the perfect size. So the question is, how can we find the end? We can just try to calculate the end. So we have a destination rectangle, right? And destination rectangle is essentially... Oh yeah, the place where we spawn. Oh my god, okay, I see. I think we need to introduce the gun entity, but we already have a weapon. We already have a weapon, and weapon is like a logical thing. But maybe... This one is interesting. Okay. So essentially we can use the mechanism of the weapons to render the weapon. So it has a projectile, and it might also have a texture, right? And rendering, we even have a rendering. Okay, so that's actually super cool. So we have to utilize all of that stuff, because when you're switching to a placer, right, you switch into a placer to place the blocks, you shouldn't see the gun. Yeah, you shouldn't be able to see the gun. So that means we'll have to remove the gun when you switch. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes so much sense. Yeah, I see now. Alright, so... and that will also very important, because then we'll be able to calculate the end point of the gun as well. Gun inherits weapon. Yeah, it's kind of what it is. It's kind of like a very OOP-ish, but we're not using OOP. We're using something different here. Will you add force into this game? That's a very interesting question. No. Excuse me, this is not the proper answer. Who? Sorry. Weapon CPP. Alrighty. Isso, kawaii desu. Kawaii desu. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to separate the rendering of the gun from the rendering of the entity. Right, so that's what we need to do. But before we do that, I need to do a committee because I'm afraid I can lose my shit. I mean my code, right? So, but to be fair, I'm losing my shit pretty much every stream, so there's nothing new here. Nothing particularly new, and also we have this kind of stuff. So bow. That's so fun. This, how did they come up with so many fun things for this game? Holy shit! Like, I'm not a game developer, but this is so fun. You did this in 3 hours? No, we already had the spike attack before. Yeah. But the gun was added within 3 hours, and this is not a really good pacing in my opinion, right? But I mean, I'm developing on the stream. Development on the stream is usually slower than usual, right? Usually slower than usual. Yeah, I'm really good at speaking. Maybe it's in the IKEA effect. I have no idea what you mean by IKEA effect. I'm sorry. What's the name of the repository? Check out the today command. You can find the source code here. Professional orator. Yes. I'm using my mouth professionally, if you know what I mean. Alright, so let's continue. Let's do a committee and maybe even a pushy. So here is that stuff. That was a very fine joke. I mean, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, so I don't think we need that shit. And introduce epic gun renderer. So to be fair, I don't have proper assets, but when I was thinking about how I'm gonna render the player, the main player, I was also thinking that on top of the rendering the gun, you would also render the hand that, you know, the player is using to hold the gun. So, and I was hoping that it's not going to be just like a separate sprite. I was thinking that there will be also several like quadrants, like for pointing to down for this quadrant, you're going to have one sprite for the whole player with a very specific posture. Then if you go to the next quadrant, you use a different sprite with a slightly different posture, and also for the opposite ones as well. I think you only need 2 sprites for the posture, because then on the other side you can basically mirror them. But I was thinking about something like that to make it like look smooth. And also I wanted the player like the head of the player also be a separate like thing that also moves along with the gun. So we have a lot of stuff to do in the future, but yeah. So this is just like, you know, basic things. Anyway, I'm gonna push that right into the repo. We'll see if we'll be able to pull that off. I'm not a game developer, I know nothing about this kind of shit. But so far, just adding the gun already makes it so fucking cool, I think. Okay, so let's go to the weapons and the gun. So it has a projectile, and so if you take a look at the projectile in here, projectile stores a lot of shit in here. It stores the who shoots stuff, its position, frame animations and whatnot, tile damage, whatever. So and essentially when the gun shoots a projectile, it basically clones the projectile. We have a raid from Donho. Hello raiders, welcome. You wanna see my gun? You wanna see my gun? Look at my gun. Isn't that amazing? That's a pretty cool gun. I can make it bigger if you want. I can make it bigger. Let me show you. So, do you like big guns? Here's the big gun. I think it's a pretty big gun. So, but we're gonna keep it around this size. So I think around this size is actually good. Welcome everyone. How are you all doing? Do you want to see me gun? Yeah, this is what we're working on right now. So we're trying to improve the gun rendering. Let's see. All right. Thank you for the raid. Hello everyone. So what I want to do here now is I want to do index texture, right? So I'm gonna call it the skin, right? The skin of this thing. And also we can have some sort of like a scale for the gun, right? So because that's the scale by which we multiply the sizes and whatnot. Okay, good. So now, when I'm constructing like water gun, fire gun, rock gun, ice gun, I want to also add a corresponding texture to them. So they're all gonna have the same texture for now, but later we're gonna improve that hopefully. So it's gonna be weapon. It's gonna be result. Skin is essentially, so skin is an index, so it's gonna be gun texture index. Cool. And scale, it has to be called skin scale, I think, because it's related to scaling the skin. So skin scale is gonna be entity gun scale for now. So I'm gonna copy paste it to each individual gun constructor. So ice gun. So here it is. Then I'm gonna have that, and also gonna have that. Cool. So now, when I'm rendering the gun, where is the gun? Yeah, so that's cool. So intentionally, when I'm rendering the gun, I'm not doing anything here, right? I'm not doing anything. And what I need to do now, I need to move all of the rendering there. So, oh shit, that's actually super cool. Render, entity. Let me actually take this entire stuff, right? And move it to the weapon, right? Move it to the weapon somewhere here. Render gun something something, and now we should completely remove this render gun bullshit from the entity. Entity should not render its own gun. It should be down outside of all of that. So yeah, I'm gonna put it here, and this is something that I wanted to do for quite some time, and finally the code sort of encourages me to do the thing that I wanted to do for a long time. This is actually good. That means I'm really lucky in that regard. An intentional good design. Yeah, sometimes you get lucky like that. That's true. Oh, skin, it has to be gun. God damn it. So I have to go through all of these things and add the gun there. It is what it is, and it isn't what it isn't. Is it not? I think it is. Alright, so cool. That's now recompile. And yeah, so gun is not rendering, and spaghetti code evolved. That's basically what it is. You evolve your spaghetti. Okay, so this is the position, and I suppose. So let's try to compile this entire thing, and I think the compilation process will tell us where we have to get all these parameters. Hopefully. Okay, so position, it's an entity position. Entity position. Oh shit, do I have an access to my entity? So entity, where entity can place the block. So only have I see. So that's not particularly nice. That's not particularly nice because I need an access to an entity, but it shouldn't be that much of a problem. So it's gonna be const entity. This one has to be entity index, that's for sure. And then I can do game entity. Are we live? We're live. I can clearly see that we're live, but Chatirina disconnected. So let me see. Oh yeah. Okay. I cannot. So we got donation. I cannot read it. Just a second. So you can also go to the Discord. I'm really sorry, my Streamlabs is so bad. It just keeps. Oh my god. I cannot see the donation, really. Streamlab is so bad.
В России, как известно, две беды. И если одну из них хотя бы теоретически можно засыпать.
Very funny. Can anybody... okay, we're live, so Discord people say that we're live, and...
Асфальтом раскатать катком, то совершенно непонятно, что делать с дорогами.
We do not approve of violence, okay? So I cannot... Oh my god, so what is going on? The Streamlabs is dead. This shit is dead. Everything is dead. Holy fuck. Web is so bad. Okay. And then people get surprised. Why are you so angry on your stream, sir? It's just relax. Don't be angry. I'm trying to open my dashboard. It just doesn't open. The internet is fine, but everything related to Twitch is just dead. I cannot open Twitch. I cannot open anything. Everything is dead. Okay, so can I pop out the chat? Oh, and music is also dying. Is this my machine? Wait a fucking second. Is this a my machine? No. This is not a my machine. I see something wrong with my... Okay, I see. I need to... Holy shit! Oh my god. I hope, I really fucking hope it is not related to any of the events that is going on right now, in Russia specifically. And we probably lost a lot of people. Oh my god. So Zin, why are you angry? Alright, so entity index. Okay. I really apologize for whatever the fuck is going on, seriously. Camera to screen, so we can have an access to the camera through a game. So the game gun direction, it's evening for you. I think it's not. Gun direction, so it's in the entity. Entity. Okay. Shade. This one is a little bit complicated. Okay, so we're gonna put the shade to nothing for now. I don't know how we'll be able to solve that for now, but yeah. Entity gun deer, and depending on the direction of the gun, we'll be able to do this kind of thing. Alright, so this has to be entity index. Alright, so now, yes, look. When you're about to place the block, you don't have the gun. You only have the gun when you select something gun related. And for stomp attack doesn't really like properly do anything. But wait, I think, yeah, I think stomp. I fucked up stomp. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, because it has to be something like break here. There we go. So stomp shouldn't have anything. Okay, so when you select placing the blocks, you can place the blocks, but when you select the gun, you can have the gun, and stomp doesn't have anything. Alright, so, and it seems to be working. Cool. Nice. So now the gun is rendered properly in here, and maybe I can even inline some of this stuff, so you don't have to call it or anything. But maybe I'm gonna keep it like that for now, because it's just easier. And the consequence, by the way... Oh shit! So now the enemies that have both stomp attack... Oh yeah, they won't actually. I think they won't. Yeah, they don't use that. Yeah, cool. And yeah, so what I wanted to see is that maybe if the entity... Huh. Okay, why doesn't it have... Why the enemies don't have the gun rendered? Why? Where do we render them though? Ah, yeah, I see. So this is something that we'll have to do a little bit later, maybe. Yeah. So this is something that we'll have to do a little bit later. So I have to go to the game and render. So yeah, weapon entities. So yeah, I see what's going on. Revert this entire thing. Okay, enemies don't have their weapons rendered. So we can fix that a little bit later as a separate thingy. Minecraft sounds, yeah, they were just like easy sounds to, you know, grab and use. So okay, cool. So the reason why I want to do it like that now, right? So when you do shoot, we use the position of the entity. We use the position of the entity as the starting point of the projectile. That's what we're doing. But now, since we have the full context and the size of the texture and whatnot, we can offset the position of that projectile. So how can we do all of that? So this is a sprite. only think about is potato. Worst line, come on. Alright, I'm a little bit hungry, holy shit. Okay. So we need to do sprite. So here's the texture index, then destination, and then begin pivot. So this is a begin. Gun. And that's what we're gonna call here. So it's going to accept the texture index and where it begins, right? Where it begins, and also we need its angle. So we'll need to provide these things, right? And it should give us, what the hell is going on? I want to. This is not what I want. Oh my god, Emacs is possessed. Oh yeah, because it has, oh my god. It was spaces, it was a bunch of spaces, that was the reason. So we have a sprite, entity gun scale. Oh, and the scale has to be, oh shit. Oh my god, oh fuck, I'm too tired for this kind of thing. So we'll have to provide the scale as a second parameter here. So it has to be something like float scale, and it's gonna be like this. And we'll also have to provide the scale here. So float scale. I'm hungry, chat. I'm so hungry. I have nothing to eat because everything requires cooking. I have nothing prepared and it just drives me nuts. I'm gonna go to the kitchen and I'm just gonna drink some water to fill my stomach with something. Alright. Make a sandwich. I don't have a bread. I think it's my fault. I should have eaten something before the stream. I usually eat right before the stream, but I only had breakfast today yet again. Oh my god, I'm so bad at managing my time. Anyway. Okay, so I drank a little bit of water, so now it feels a little bit better. So, yeah, I'm sorry, really apologize. Everything's okay. So we have a destination rectangle, right? And essentially, what you want to have, we do all of these like offset things. So we have a begin and we have a pivot and whatnot. And the thing about the pivot is that, yeah. So I think we also need to calculate that. So then I take the destination rectangle, right? I take the destination rectangle and I update it accordingly. Pivot. Okay. Oh, it's just the Russians making funny jokes. Is that the pivot in Russian is beer? Yeah. Very cool. Now let's see. So I have set this entire thing. Then I subtract the pivot. Right, I subtract the pivot. Interesting enough, like after that, I just need to add. maybe I just need to add this as a point, right? So it has to be x and y. X and y, like vector 2. So here's the vector 2. I add begin and after that I have to add the width. So I have to add the width, and that will give me the end in which at which you have to shoot. At which you have to shoot. Cool. Now, so then you have a position, the projectile position, but the projectile position has to be gun end. Alright, hopefully that will actually work out for me. So let's see. So texture index, this one is essentially I guess gun skin. So the beginning is entity, so we'll have to basically take this as an entity here. Have to take it as an entity, and we have it as a shooter, which is actually kind of perfect, I think. Shooter. So this is entity position. The angle, how do we calculate the angle? Angle is an entity gun direction converted to degrees, right? And then scale. Do we pass the scale? We don't even pass the scale. We'll have to do something like gun skin scale, and I think that's the last thing we'll have to do. Yes, yesu, kawaii desu. And here's the entity position, angle, and this is the scale. Should be all right. Should be all right. Okay, so let me see if it's gonna compile or not. So this one, I just have to do entity. So this is the velocity and stuff like that. So we use the shooter and cool angle. Unused parameter, so you don't have to pass the angle? Is that what you're telling me? This is bullshit. Okay, so yeah, this is a complete bullshit. Holy fuck. Oh fuck. I see. This is bad because rotation, I just realized that the rotation is done for me by the renderer. But to identify position, I have to re-implement that rotation myself yet again. Ooh, boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is like really not enough, apparently. I mean, yeah. Yikes. Yikes. Okay. What I'm thinking. Scrap that. We're gonna accept begin and direction, right? So it's gonna be a position and direction. Scale is not really needed, right? So maybe because of that, all of that is not needed. This entire function is also not needed. We'll see, we'll see. So we take the entity position and we have an entity direction, right? So here's the entity direction, which we can normalize. And essentially we can just have a gun length. Alright, we can have a gun length, which could be... I think we already have that in a vars. Entity gun length, where do we use it? We don't use it anywhere, perfect. So let me see. So this is a gun length, and I'm gonna just customize that. So this is gonna be the simplest way of doing that. It's a really dumb way of doing that, I know, but it is what it is. Okay, so that's perfect. I think now we can customize that. Vars conf gun length. So what about 100? Okay, so that's already better. 15? So yeah, so that's basically what it is. That makes it way better. So it doesn't like straight up out at the correct place, but I mean, if you're doing that very quickly, it's not even that noticeable anyway, so... pretty small gun. I don't know. Is it a small gun? Oh shit. Oh shit, what the fuck is going on? Grab something. Kill. Oh my god, is that a one of this? I don't know what happened. How did that happen? I don't even have any loops. Unknown variable D. Oh shit, this thing killed it. Somehow, yeah, apparently this is how easily you can kill this entire stuff. Wait a second. Yeah, so... Oh, what's funny is that now, if I change the size of the gun, it doesn't change unless I reload this thing. So, what about 75? And now this is the gun. And for such a gun, you need the size like... maybe 500, probably? Yeah, something like that. Unfortunately, I cannot identify the size, so yeah. So, and this one is gonna be 25. I think 25 is a pretty good size for this specific gun. So, and yeah. So, that's cool. Alright, so what do we got? Enemies don't have their blah blah blah. So now we have that. And the coolest part here is that... oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, this somehow killed like everything. I don't know how. So, alright. Oh, it's what was not what killed it actually. Yeah. Oh my god, Emacs, stop asking the question. Sometimes Emacs is so annoying. Okay, cool. I'm really happy. Come on, you can do that. Alright. So, and now if we choose different kind of things, like it also changes the appearance of the player, and also you can have stomp, and then you can switch to this thing, and that's pretty cool. So I'm super happy about this. So there's that, and you can do this kind of stuff. So that. Sometimes it's kind of strange. Wait, don't. Is the getting stuck in the wall back again? I feel like I just caught it somehow. Okay, so that's really strange. Yeah. I think I caught it. Well, it doesn't really do that. Alright, so that's pretty cool. So there's another thing that I wanted to have. I wanted to make the gun length and gun scale part of the weapon itself. Alright, to do gun length and gun scale. Well, okay, so only gun length should be part of the weapon entity. So this is another to do. Alright, so let me see. Make the gun, the gun rendering part of the weapon rendering. Okay. Okay, let's push that. Flask developer. I suppose somebody who uses Flask framework or library. It's a Python library for developing simple web applications or REST APIs. It's this one. Alright, so I want to kind of clean up some of this stuff. Maybe I want to actually inline these things. So let me see, let me try to do that, because it's literally just doing something like this. Yep, and I'm gonna try to compile this entire thing. So begin, I might as well just call it begin then. Okay. So texture index, it should be part of the like gun skin. Yeah, it's just a gun skin. So what else do we have here? This is gonna be just a quick cleanup. Just a quick cleanup. Skin scale. Okay, so this is a scale, and it's gonna be gun skin scale, right? And gonna be that. Might as well make it this. So yep. So we also have to have an angle, and the angle, if I'm not mistaken, is gonna be just like this. So we're gonna put it here, and it's gonna be const outer. There we go. So do we need anything else? Okay, so we also have a flip, and the flip is gonna be just this. It's gonna be just this. Might as well do something like const outer flip like this. Just put it here. And that should be it. Should be it, except the shade. We don't have a shade right now, at least. Oh yeah, we need to actually put this thing there. And I did a fucky wacky apparently, and maybe even oopsie doopsie. So because I have to map the beginning of the gun begin, to this screen, otherwise it doesn't count. So is it gonna work now, hopefully? Please tell me that it's gonna work now, and it did in fact work. Okay, so this is gonna be another to-do. Guns are not shaded properly. When... Well, let's put it this way. Guns of enemies are not shaded properly. So, and that's a very good simplification. So we managed to get rid of this entire function. So because I basically just inline it, we didn't really need that function anyway. So let me see if that's now working, if that's now twerking. Cool, so that's now actually working and twerking. I'm super happy about that. Cool. So this was a temporary function, that's why it has such a weird name and stuff like that. 59, not 69. Inline, render texture as gun and direction. Let's just push that right into the repo. Cool. So we have that. Anything else? So I introduced a bunch of to-dos here, actually. Yeah, so to-do, panic, to-do, enemies don't have their weapons rendered, guns of enemies are not shaded properly. Yeah, we introduced like 3 to-dos and whatnot. Lamp, B-boomer, clap. Lamp, who uses lamp in 2021? Come on. Shazubaku, hello, welcome to the streamers. So let's create a pull request. We finally finished rendering the gun. How about that? I think it's amazing. It's a very cool gun. Look at my gun. Nice. Alright, so let's go and make a pull request. Chat, are you ready? Are you ready for an epic pull request? I'm gonna fucking do that. And nothing's gonna stop me. Alright. Compare and pull request. Make the gun rendering part of the weapons. Yeah, introduce epic gun rendering. So that's what we did here. That's what we did. Introduced an epic gun rendering. Close 59, not 69. Okay. Oh shit! I'm sorry. Oh, by the way, I forgot to check if this compiles like fully, including release. Can we leave comments? You can try. Not even 69, yeah, I'm sorry. Alright, so release seems to be compiling so far. Don't see any significant. I mean, if release would fail, it would probably already fail. Okay, cool. So, something doesn't work on Windows. So that's a thing. So let's see what Windows is complaining about yet again. Probably something about conversion. Yeah, conversion from double to float. Yeah, I fucking knew that. So a weapon 15. Let's go to the weapon 15. Oh yeah, so I forgot these things. Sure. Might as well try to compile with Clank just in case. So it's gonna be C. So we actually need both, I think. We need CC being Clank and CXX being Clank++. Right, otherwise... Okay, so Clank doesn't complain. But if I remove this thing, will it complain now? I think it should complain. I think Clank would complain about such thing. No, it doesn't. Look at that. Alright. So... 59. Try to fix MSVC build. Let's push that right into the ribbon. Needs conversion? I think I enabled it, didn't I? Oh, I didn't. Okay, I thought I actually had it enabled. So, conversion. Let's actually enable it, just in case. Oh shit. It starts to fail in STB, that's why I don't enable it. Because STB doesn't give a shit about conversion. Yeah, so that's kind of sad, but it is what it is. Alright. So, I also want to snitch up the to-dos report. Prepend body. Introduced in 351. Gun length should be part of the weapon entity, sure. Don't do that. Enemies don't have their weapons rendered. Yes, that's true. Yeah, that's also true. Could be actually the same issue, but whatever. Right. So is the... Yeah, I think Windows is fine. So I'm gonna just go ahead and push all these things. Very cool. Now have a pretty interesting gun rendering. Really like it. I like the new gun. So it's essentially pretty cool when you have a stomp attack and whatnot. And you can do that and then stomp again. Though stomp is not really for the player, but you can use it on the player because player is an entity nonetheless. Yep. And you can just do that. And it would be kind of cool to have different guns for different weapons, and we have a technical ability of doing so. Right, we can assign different guns on different entities. I don't even know how development works, but I'm still watching. Believe me, same. I don't even know how development works either, and I'm doing that for 15 years. Seriously. It's just the life. It's just the life. Alright. So, we need to wait until continuous integration is done because I want to merge that. I really want to merge that. So I'm already streaming for 4 hours. And yeah. Fortunately, it is time for me to go. Thanks everyone who's watching right now. I really appreciate it. Have a good one, and I see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, according to the schedule, we're gonna continue doing the same thing. We're gonna continue doing a game development because it's a game development weekend. So tomorrow we probably gonna continue improving the the gun rendering and whatnot. Also check out our schedule page for more information on different projects we're working on. We work on different projects on different days. Also check out our VODs channel where we upload all our stream recordings. This stream is going to be there, but tomorrow we upload them on the next day because I have to wait 24 hours and stuff like that. Right, also check out our Discord server for offline discussion with the community. And I don't know, we got raided today, so maybe it makes sense for us to raid somebody back. So is anyone streaming right now who we could raid right now, maybe? So unfortunately Twitch is very slow. You're welcome, Atlanta Jose. So I think we could raid Julie Strader because she raided us last time, so it would make sense to raid her back to say thank you. So let me see how her name is spelled. Julie Strader. To be fair, I don't even know what she's doing. She's a game developer, I think. Right, let's raid her and see what she's doing. All right, get ready for the raid, boys and girls. Get ready for the raid, and I see you all tomorrow. Love you all. Mwah.